A six-figure salary does not necessarily translate to financial stability, as family debt climbs and living costs rise in various regions of the country. In actuality, 61% of American people admit to living paycheck to paycheck. A staggering 62% of them didn't even have $1,000 to put aside for emergencies, and almost half of them, which is 44%, have credit card debt. Naturally, the economic crisis of 2022 has only made things worse. Hello everyone, welcome to Finance Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about how 61% of Americans are broke and how to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. According to studies, middle-class Americans often express optimism about their financial situations. Compared to those who aren't middle class, they are less likely to question their capacities to strike the correct balance between spending money now and conserving money for the future. In the light of the present circumstances, the issue is whether their expectations and beliefs are correct. The Willis Towers Watson study and other studies reveal that's not always the case. It seems reasonable to believe that higher-earning families would have greater savings since they have more financial resources available, but that is not always the case. These starting numbers show how few of us have the resources to get by, even if livable salaries vary greatly depending on where you live. Even people earning $150,000 per year live paycheck to paycheck, and 59% of those earning that much are in debt, with 56% admitting to being severely in debt. What precisely is the cause of cash shortage given that 40% of the Americans would struggle to come up with $500,000 to cover an unexpected bill? According to the Federal Reserve's 2018 study of household economics and decision making, identifying the precise reason for high earners' financial problem is the first step in understanding why so many of them suffer. That may be one of those factors. Avoiding this is the way how to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. The total amount of household debt in the United States rose to an all-time high of $14.15 trillion in the fourth quarter of 2019, according to the data of the Federal Reserve's Bank of New York. Even if student loans account for the rising percentage of what Americans owe, housing debt still counts for the overwhelming bulk of what Americans owe. The Boston College Center for Retirement Research discovered that debt, such as credit card debt, mortgage, and school loans, is the main reason households earning $150,000 or more find it difficult to come up with $400 for unforeseen need. However, there is no assurance that higher incomes are racking up debt due to irresponsible spending practices. Some Americans earning six-figure or more may be struggling financially as a result of two high cost of living factors. For example, since 2012, home prices have increased by about a third. The median scale price of a home increased to $330,500 at the end of 2019 from $251,700 at the end of 2012. In certain markets, there is a tremendous demand for housing, which has resulted in exorbitant purchase and rental costs that consume even more of high earners' income wages. According to a survey by Magnifying Money, San Jose, California is the worst place to live in if you earn $100,000 a year. Residents have a $454 monthly shortfall after paying for housing and other monthly expenses. Student loans are one of those costs. Healthcare, transportation, and daycare expenses related to debt. As kids become older and start getting ready for college, high-income households face an increased financial burden. In-state tuition and room and board at a public four-year university averaged $38,330 for 2019 to 2022 academic year, while children from rich households only get a small amount of financial help. Obviously, this may increase the burden for those making six figures. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to discuss how to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. Let's now discuss investments. Some individuals feel compelled to publicly declare that they would never invest because they are so upset when asked about where they would want to put their money. A 10% return on investment is obviously not a certainty. After all, financial profits are often uncertain. Even losing money will happen sometimes. However, some years will undoubtedly be better than others. Would it really matter if you had a 7% yearly return on an average as opposed to a 10% annual return over the long run? How about a yearly return of 5%? Doesn't that seem preferable compared to being broke? Let's put these figures into context. Let's say you invest money for a long period, but since your investments weren't that greatest, you don't finish up with millions of dollars. Instead, you could end up with only $500 or $500,000. Wouldn't it be preferable to the zero cash you now possess? Many consider 30 years to be a very long period of time. So if you don't want to wait 30 years, increase your investment. Utilize your leisure time by launching a company to increase your income. To do more work, you may want to consider waking up an hour earlier. Keep in mind that investing won't make you wealthy overnight. The goal of investing is to utilize your money to produce additional income, and if you want to create a company to do that, you'll need to work really hard. It is absolutely possible to accelerate your path to success, but you will need to make more sacrifices in order to increase your investment and income. Other than winning the lottery, there is no other option. To leave our imprint and advance in life, we are currently moving more quickly than ever. We are facing rivalry from both those nearby and those on the opposite side of the continent. Therefore, doing this is precisely on how to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. Never ever spend money you can't afford on yourself simply to appear pretty. Everyone wants to be impressed in today's world. In certain regions of the world, it is unacceptable to be less. Despite the fact that some people think beauty comes from the inside, others think it comes from the sports car you drive or the Chanel you wear. Because of this, we blow our salaries at the department store in an effort to impress people who don't actually matter. History reminds us not to go overboard with our spending. If you can't afford it, look for alternatives that meet your spending plan. This is a crucial coping technique that enables you to save money and keeps you from taking on debt. Letting go of the need to impress will prevent you from spending unnecessarily. Keep your credit cards frozen in the freezer, which is the step 2. People now carry numerous cards from various banks with various interests throughout the day in their handbags or wallets, rather than carrying cash. Every time you make a purchase, you swipe your card, paying attention only to the current transaction and oblivious to the mounting pile of money. According to research, one of the main causes of financial ruin is excessive credit card spending. Running away or assuming a different identity is one choice. Filing for bankruptcy is another. Avoid both of them by sticking with the old school and carrying cash. Your current purchasing power is thus limited. Try freezing your credit card on an ice in your freezer if you find yourself constantly tempted to use it. You now have a second defense in place between you and a subsequent charge. The third step is to make wise investments rather than rash ones. An excellent way to safeguard your possessions and earn money is through investments. Unfortunately, not all of us have a lot of investment knowledge. While some of us may be excellent money earners, not all of us possess the talent for sensible investments. Emotional investing is the same as gambling. We bet impulsively, so to be on the safe side, we either win big or lose big. Look for a financial counselor who has an understanding of the stock market or real estate. But you should also do your own research. By doing so, you'll have the confidence and information necessary to make wise financial decisions. Your experience will be your best guide as you become used to investing. To sum up, only those with low income experience living paycheck to paycheck. High salaries may not be as advantageous to those with higher cost of livings, particularly if they use credit to make up the difference. Breaking the pattern of living paycheck to paycheck is essential for long-term financial security. A frequent option, while not always feasible, particularly in hard circumstances, is raising family income. Since we are at the point in time when we have no more time, the best use of one's income is to pay off debt and cut spending. We've reached the end of another video, and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned how to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye!